thing of it is that when it comes to housing, and it's already been stated, the challenge is not just here within Mitchell County. The challenge is not just here within Georgia, but the challenge is where? It's nationwide. And once you need housing, and saints, don't fool yourself. Y'all watch television just like I do. And what is happening is that because of changes within our environment, because of changes everywhere, houses are burning down. Amen. Houses are being torn away with floods. The tornadoes are coming, and all of that is having an impact on how we house folks. It's sad to say that one of the main reasons that it took us so long and we still don't have one is because, and I'll tell you something, don't try to get mad at me now, but we want to know the main reason that we don't have the homeless shelters or the places where we can go is because we the people don't want one.
That's right.
We the people do not want one. Because if we the people wanted one, then guess what?
We the people.
We would have one, wouldn't we? Because we would get together, we would make it happen. But it's not that we don't like or we don't care. It's just that we don't care. I like her. She been going to a Baptist church. She know how to It's just that we don't care enough. Because if we cared enough, then we could get some things to roll. And I'm on my first section. I'll be done in a little bit. One of the problems that is happening is as we reach out to help folk, the folk that we're trying to help now are those is to help people from becoming homeless. Once we found out that we could not actually establish a homeless shelter, we set about sheltering the homeless. And in sheltering the homeless, what we really want to do is we want to do everything that we can to keep people in place and in the house where they're at. It's sad to say that even right now that we have individuals that come to us, and as they come to us because they're losing their homes. They're losing them because guess what's happening, Saint? They no longer have the funding that they need. Amazing. Individual working 2 jobs, paying $400 a month in rent. Can't make it. Can't make it. We see those every day. So when they come to us, what do? We make an effort to reach out and to help them. Let's go to our next slide, sister. Thank you. One of the things that we do, it says to provide the general welfare of the homeless. What does that mean? What does that mean? And I don't have the time to get into all of that, but what does it mean? It means that what we're going to do, we're going to do everything within our power to help them to move on and to be able to get to the place where they need to be. Amen? You can see the same statistics that has been presented, and if you take a look and you've been listening, you've been reading, and you know you're the housing task force, so you know exactly what's going on. Amen? We want to do everything that is on there, and we're going to move forward. Let's go to the next slide. One of the things we have to do is we have to increase parent involvement in everything that is going on. So we establish, and I have a handout for you, and that is that Parent University. And in Parent University, we make an effort to get parents to come in so that we can do what? We can teach them how to not only become full partners with raising their children, but we can also show them, if they will come, to have how they can have a better life. The challenge is we seem to be moving real good before COVID. And now, guess what? We can't even get parents to attend. Ms. Shirley Daniels is the director of Parent University for the Mitchell County House of Hope. And it's actually just getting parents to say, I will, and I will become involved. But for some reason, it seems as if it's a burden. And as I talk to folks across Southwest Georgia, then guess what? It's just not within Mitchell County, but it's also across the board. To get individuals who are willing to come so that we can teach them. Mitchell County House of Hope, where growth is possible. But it's only possible if you do what? Show up. You have to show up. And if you show up, then we can get things done. I need to move. Y'all look like y'all not only hungry, but y'all sleeping. All right, let's move to the next slide. Let's move to the next one. All right. Let's move to the next one. Okay. Here's one of the things that I am to do, and that is to talk about solutions to where we're headed. Solutions to where we're headed. And saints, in order to get those solutions, when you're dealing with emergency and transitional housing, what you have to do is you have to make sure that you are aware of where you're at all times and how you're going to be able to make it. I got another point that I'm going to go. When we talk about emergency housing, there's very few, and it's not on that slide. You can it's not on that slide. But when we talk about emergency housing, and you look at what we have, somewhere we got there we go. Providing emergency and transitional housing. The challenge is what? Is rising costs. Rising costs. Right now, if an individual or if a family comes to us and they say that we need emergency housing, and we do this, the first thing that we can do, because we do not have a shelter, is we put them up in the local motel. That's $71 a night. $71 a night. And you do the math on it. It goes quickly, amen. We have another member of our board here, that's Miss Naomi Carroll, and we all try to get together to meet that need and to help them. Now, what do we do when it comes to transitional housing? The burden, when you take a look at it, is that more than 30% of household income is spent on what? Housing. We already know that, don't we? And here I am, I'm preaching to the choir in an effort to get to where we need to be. But when you think about it, where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? And we make an effort to do that. We reach out and we try to get individuals to some place where they can stay. And within Mitchell County, the only place they can go right now is into the motel. But it's my prayer and my belief that we're going to move, because I listened to the mayor and I talked to him, but I listened to the mayor in his efforts to move forward, and that's what we've got to do. If we're going to help individuals in Georgia who are homeless, then we've got to make sure that we can find a place for them to be in a short notice of time. Amen? That has got to happen. That has got to happen. Let's go to straight to partnership. And the mayor has already talked to that. Community partnership. This is a Herculean effort. And it's a Herculean effort because many folks fail to understand what the challenge is all about. Really don't. And why is that? I truly believe that one of the things is the problem is that we fail to write the vision and make it plain to all of those folks who need to read it so that they can run with it. Now, why is that? We do not sing that song over and over and over again. There again, how does faith come?
By hearing.
It comes by hearing. So how is it that we're going to learn what is going on unless we do what? Hear it. But the folk who need to hear it are what? Not here this morning. Now, I'm not throwing any rocks at anyone. I'm not talking about anybody or putting anyone down. I'm talking about what I'm talking about. And one of the main reasons is because we don't advertise. We don't let folk know that this is what's happening and you need to be there, and they need to hear it. They need to hear that there's going to be a housing summit, and it's going to be right here. There's going to be another housing summit. It's going to be at the depot in Camilla, and I do believe that it's going to be free of charge. And I believe that it's open to the public
in the whole region.
And we need to let everybody know.
Yes.
We need to bring people. Amen. I've got to get to the point, and that's where I'm at. I've got to get to the point that when I talk to my peers and let them know what's going on. If you can go to the state convention in Stone Mountain, then why can't you come here? You go back to if you really care. How much time do I have? Am I over my time? When you hear, one of the challenges that we had, after 15 years, we are finally beginning to see a crack develop in the wall. This is my closing. A crack developed in the wall. Our greatest challenge is reaching out and getting people to understand what is going on. I see Dr. Everson right there. And when we started 15 years ago, she was one of our mentors that kind of coached us along the way a little bit. One of the challenges is that it was a lack of understanding the local mores, M-O-R-E-S, if you will, of the folks that we were dealing with, okay, on both sides of the creek. We had a challenge with that. And saints, I hate to tell you this, but it seems as if really poor folk don't want to put up with poor folk. Mayor Owens started it when he said he was going to be real this morning. He didn't want, but that's one of our challenges. So if we can come together, and we're beginning to see that right now, that it is a change that is happening. Now, what are we going to do? What are we going to do if we're going to talk about emergency housing? And as we talk about emergency housing and stability for those individuals who are without shelter, first thing we were thinking about is our capital campaign. We have a capital campaign of 2,000 friends. If we can get 2,000 friends to give us $5 a month, you do the math. If we can do that, then we can do what? Then we will have the funding that we need, and each and every community can do the same thing, and you will have the funding. Well, you know, I ain't got a whole lot of money. That's all right. All I'm asking for is $5. $5. You can surely provide that. And it's amazing to me the number of folks who don't want to give the $5. But what are we going to do to help those folks with emergency housing? All right. One of the things that is happening, and I thank God for it, is you've got to provide your leaders. And that's got to start with our mayor. It has to trickle down into our council members. It has to trickle down into everybody else. If those individuals buy into the program. When we started this, we asked the folk at New Salem, where I am a member, and I asked the deacons, and guess what? All of them signed up. All 14 of them. $5 a month. And if we can continue to move with that, that's exactly what. So we got to involve everybody, and we got to preach it to all of those. We got to increase our partnership. The Mayor Owens has already talked about this. Everyone talking about it. We got to do that. We got to seek counseling from what? From local shareholders. We got to increase that. We've got to make sure that these individuals who are public figures, and then the next thing we got to do, and that's all of us in here, we've got to increase our profile within the public and let them know. Okay? And I've reached a new one for me, and I'm done. I've reached a new one for me, and that is that we've got to do everything that we can to reach out and to help those individuals who are homeless. I have a lady, she works for Ms. Deborah Hall. She works for the sheriff department. And the two of us talk about those individuals who are chronically homeless. And we talk about the fact that there's nothing that we can do for them. Those are the ones who need emergency housing quite often. Within Mitchell County, at least I know in the Camilla area, and I think it's also within the Pelham area, and that is that as of right now, we don't have anyone who, quote unquote, is chronically homeless outside the normal sphere of those individuals who are homeless. In other words, there's some folks we can't help. That's a government thing. It has to be. Because we can't do it. The individual citizens cannot do it because they are too needy, if you will, and we can't provide all of their needs. But those individuals who find themselves homeless because their house is burned down, those individuals who find themselves without shelter because they have taken away, they have taken away their income and they no longer can afford it, those are the individuals that we can help. All right. Does anybody have any questions?